Good morning, everyone. I am Kanoniko Rikame Paz. I'll be discussing the topic 5 Sociocultural Learning Theories. Society play a very crucial role in the individual development. Sociocultural theory indicate the human learning is basically and essentially a social process, since this mainly emphasizes the interaction between the developing individual and cultural way life. Sociocultural theory, pioneered by Lev Vygotsky, emphasized the profound impact of social interactions and cultural content on individual development, particularly in learning and cognitive developments. Here are the key points. First, the social process. Vygotsky argued the learning is fundamentally a social process. Second, cultural tools and influences. Our culture provides us with tools, symbol, and way of thinking that shape our learning. Third, zone of proximal development or CPD. Vygotsky introduced the concept of the CPD, which is the gap between what a learner can do independently and what they can achieve with guidance from a more knowledgeable individual. Last, the scaffolding. The process of providing support and guidance within the CPD is called scaffolding. Vygotsky describes sociocultural theory intelligent learning, a social process in the beginning of human intelligence in society as zonal. The major theme of his theoretical framework is that social interactions play a fundamental role in the development of cognition. Vygotsky believed everything is learned on two levels. Social interaction is fundamental. Vygotsky believed that social interaction is the fundamental of cognitive development. The two levels of learning, Vygotsky proposed that learning occurs on the two levels. The first level of learning is intersociological learning, take place between individuals through social interaction and collaboration. Second level of learning is intrapsychological learning, is internalized and become parts of the individual own cognitive processes. The first level is done through interaction with others and integrated into the individual mental or cognitive structures. Usually, every function in the child's cultural development appears twice. First on the social level, where it appears on the intersociological and characteristic, and later on the individual level. The first level is social interaction. Learning begins through interactions with others, like parents, teachers, or peers. This is the intersociological level. The second level is internalization. The knowledge and skill acquired through social interactions are then internalized by the individual, becoming part of their own mental structures. This is the intrapsychological level. Children learn by observing and interacting with others. They then take what they learned and make it their own, developing their own understanding and abilities. The second aspect of Vygotsky theory is the idea that the development or potential for cognitive development is limited to a zone of approximately he developed, or CPD. This zone is the area of exploration for which the student is cognitively prepared but requires help and socialized HINA interaction to fully develop. Brenner, 1999. The ZPD emphasizes the importance of scaffolding in guided learning. It suggests that learning is a social process, not just an individual one. It provides a framework for understanding how to support learners in their development. Figure 1. Vygotsky zone of proximal development. From the moment of child is born, according to Vygotsky, learning and development are not separated entities. These two elements are interrelated. He proposed a zone of learning existed between what a child could do independently and tasks that could not be achieved unaided. Interrelations of learning and development. Vygotsky believed that learning and development are not separate processes, but rather intertwined. Learning fuels development and development enables further learning. The ZPD is the space between what a learner can accomplish independently and what they can achieve with the guidance and support of a more knowledgeable others. These others could be a teacher, parent, peer, or even a tools or resources. Then, the scaffolding. The process of providing support within the ZPD is called scaffolding. Provide temporary assistance, gradually withdrawing support as the learner becomes more competent. In summary, Vygotsky's ZPD emphasizes the dynamic natures of learning and development, highlighting the importance of social interaction, scaffolding, and individualized instructions. Liu 2012 summarizes the benefits of ZPD theory for learners early for schools, and the following list represent how the student would benefit from these types of interactions. Number 1. Students are presented with challenging but reasonable tasks that stimulate thinking and motivate efforts to learn. Number 1. Challenging but reasonable tasks stimulate thinking. When tasks are just a bit beyond what students already know, it forces them to think critically, apply existing knowledge, and develop it with new strategies. Motivate efforts. Students are more likely to put in effort when they feel challenged but not overwhelmed. Number 2, meaningful instructions and feedback help drive further development and an appropriate pace. Number 2, meaningful instructions and feedback drives development. Clear instructions help students understand the why behind what they're learning. Feedback, whether it's from the teachers or peer, provide guidance and help students identify areas for improvement. Appropriate pace. Good instructions and feedback are tailored to the individual student's needs. Number 3, a learning environment where students are valued as individual, a collaborative group, and a class. Individual. Every student feels respected and valued for who they are. Their unique strengths and perspectives are acknowledged. Collaborated group. Students feel comfortable working together, sharing ideas, and learning from each other. Class. The whole class is seen as a unit, working toward shared goals. Students feel like they are part of something bigger than themselves. Number 4, a learning environment where student creativity and thoughtfulness and the processes are acknowledged and accepted. Acknowledged and accepted. Students are encouraged to think outside the box, explore different ideas, and express themselves. Creativity. Their unique approaches and perspectives are valued. These elements create a learning environment where students feel safe, supported, and challenging. This is the kind of environment where students can truly thrive and reach their full potential. On the same note, Chris Trek 2013 enumerated the following points as a way CPD theory would benefit educator. Number 1. Identify and use areas of strength and weaknesses. How it's work. The CPD emphasizes that learning happens most effectively when tasks are slightly challenging but within reach. By accessing student individual strengths and weaknesses, teacher can tailor instructions to target specific areas for growth. Classroom example. A teacher might use free assessment to identify students who struggle with fractions instead of teaching the entire class the same way. The teacher could provide differentiated instructions. offering extra support to those who need it while challenging others with more complex problems. Number two, engage student and social interactions to enable learning. How it's work, Vygotsky believed that learning is a social process, collaboration with peers and guidance from more knowledgeable others, like teachers or mentors. Mentors help students internalize new concepts. Classroom example, instead of individual assignment, a teacher might implement group project where students work together, learn from each other and support each other learning. Number 3. Better understanding students as individual learners. Learners in a small group setting and learners in a larger social setting. How it's work, the ZVD recognized that students learn differently depending on the context. Understanding how students learn in various settings allows teachers to create more effective learning environment. Classroom example, a teacher might observe how a student perform on a solo task compared to their performance in a group. This helps the teachers understand the student learning style and adjust their approach accordingly. Number 4. Discover unique thought processes that different students may use to solve problems. How it's work, the CPD encourage teacher to be attentive to the deserved why student approach problem. This allow for a deeper understanding of individual learning styles and the development of more inclusive teaching strategies. Classroom as classroom example. A teacher might notice that one student solved a math problem using visual aid while another uses a more abstract approach. By recognizing these differences, the teacher can provide support and resources that cater to each student's unique learning style. In summary, Green's 3 points highlight the practical implementation of Vygotsky's CPD theory for educator. By understanding and applying these principles, teachers can create more effective and engaging learning experiences that cater to the individual needs of their students. Lastly, Kentrick's 2013 continues to suggest benefits for ZPD theory for school administrators. Number 1. Promote higher quality differentiated instructions in school. What it means, differentiated instructions is a teaching approach that recognizes that students learn at different paces and in different ways. Why it's important? By providing differentiated instructions, teacher can assure that all students are challenged and supported in their learning. How to promote it? Professional development, teachers need ongoing training and support to effectively implement differentiated instructions. Curriculum design. Curriculum should be flexible enough to allow for different learning pathway and levels of challenging. Assessment. Teachers need to use a variety of assessment to understand students' strengths and weaknesses and adjust instructions accordingly. Number 2, emphasize better teacher-student relationship. What it means, strong teacher-student relationships are built on trust, respect, and open communication. They go beyond simple teaching and learning. They create a sense of belonging and support. Why it's important? Positive relationship foster a safe and welcoming learning environment where students feel comfortable taking risks, asking questions, and engaging in learning. This leads to increased student motivation, self-esteem, and academic achievement. How to emphasize it? Building a rapport, teachers should make an effort to get to know their student on a personal level, showing genuine interest in their lives and well-being. Creating a positive classroom culture. Establish clear expectations for behavior and respect and celebrate student successes. Open communication encourages students to share their thoughts and feelings and provide opportunities for feedback. Number 3. Work with more motivated teachers and students. What it means, motivation is a key factor in learning. When teachers and students are passionate about their work, they are more likely to be engaged, presented, and successful. Why is it important? Motivated teachers are more likely to be innovative and effective in their teaching. Motivated students are more likely to be engaged in learning, take ownership of their education, and achieve their full potential. How to work with them? Teacher support. Provide teachers with opportunities for professional growth, collaboration, and recognition for their efforts. Student engagement. Create a curriculum that is relevant and engaging and provide opportunities for students to take ownership of their learning. Positive reinforcements. Recognize and celebrate students and teachers' achievement to foster a sense of accomplishment and motivation. By focusing on these three key elements, school can create a learning environment that is conducive to student success. CPD, according to Vygotsky, built the foundation for dynamic assessment. He so felt in the traditional assessment techniques, which define the student independent learning of a decontextualized tasks. He suggested an interactive approach to assessment and to focus less on the product the learner produces and more on the process the learner takes. Yildirim 2008. Vygotsky, CPD, and dynamic assessment offer a more holistic and learning-centered approach to assessment by focusing on the learner potential within the CPD and observing their learning process. Dynamic assessment provide a richer understanding of their capabilities and help identify areas for further development. That's all po. Thank you.